Hey guys, so pre-week analysis of what I'll be watching out from the markets, this coming week. Starting with the dollar index on the monthly time frame, price has been quite strong for a while. Seeing how last month has closed, the candlestick is sort of a bearish candlestick, but still that's not enough confirmation, to look for a bearish dollar. So I'll be looking to see, whether the dollar will continue going higher or lower. It will all depend on a lot of factors. So as you can see, you know on the weekly time frame, it's the price has retraced to a very significant zone here. So price could either continue going higher, or at the same time price could still retrace even further all the way to this zone. Also, we have NFP coming this next coming week, so it's one of those weeks where I can't say I'm very certain of the market direction. So I'll just be watching to see how the market will behave on Monday and maybe Tuesday, and then depending on that, I'll be able to determine where I'm expecting, the dollar to go. So most likely, there are two possible scenarios here. So price could easily, come back to this zone. We have a retest, then we see dollar continue going higher, or the price could come and break down below this zone and trade back somewhere here, or all the way to this zone. So it's all a matter of just watching out to see how price will behave, and most importantly, waiting to see how the NFP will come out. But the NFP is on Friday, so that means you cannot, wait until Friday if you intend to trade actively. So for the most part of this week, I'll just be watching to see how the dollar will behave before I can try to predict, the next direction. So next I'll move to USDCHF. So USDCHF also quite similar because, depending on where the dollar is going to, that's when you can be able to determine where most pairs that have, dollar as part of their currency, be moving the major currency pairs. So looking at USDCHF, on the weekly time frame, price actually closed, with a doji candlestick. A candlestick, you see, the body is very small. It's sort of a doji, so it's a sign of indecision in the market. So you looking at your DCHF from the higher time frame. So far, the weekly time frame cannot give me anything valid. If you look from the daily time frame, price still looks bullish from the daily time frame. Price has been moving from this low, it's still moving higher, and as you can see so far, trading with the immediate market direction, we have a series of higher highs and higher lows, and you can see the pattern has been consistent. So is it possible that at this point price will continue going higher? So that's what I'll be looking to see on the 4-hour time frame on USDCHF. The structure is still bullish, as you can see. The long-term structure on USDCHF is still very bullish. Price is still headed to the upside. But again, it will depend with the direction of the dollar, which we can't determine yet. So based depending on how the market will behave on Monday, most likely I'll be looking for, either just two possible scenarios. Price could either at this point, continue dropping further, or we could see price retracing somewhere to this demand zone or somewhere here. Then if it's unable to break this low, we could see price shooting higher. If it breaks this low, then we could see price dropping even further. So that's what I'll be looking for. But again, it's mostly dependent with how price will behave Monday, Tuesday, depending with the direction and the structure that will be formed on the market. EURUSD, starting with the monthly time frame. So you can see monthly time frame still looks quite bearish. Price has been trading downwards for a while. Weekly time frame is also giving me the same vibes, bearish vibes, as you can see. Price is dropping, retracing, lower highs, lower lows consistently. That's the sign that price is bearish. So far, we don't have any significant reason to say that USD is reversing to be completely bullish. I mean, price could get to this point and continue dropping. Likewise, it could get to this point and we see the bulls pushing price even higher. It's all a matter of watching to see how price will behave. Also on the daily time frame, if you check the daily time frame, you can notice here this is actually a key supply zone, a zone of strong sellers, and Looking at the lower time frame, especially the 4 hour, you can see that when price has traded to this zone, we've got an immediate reaction of a bearish pattern, which is also evident on the lower time frame. So it's possible that EURUSD could trade higher and break above the supply zone, which could be an indication that we are possibly seeing strong bulls, or price could just play around this zone, then we see it drop even further and continue with the trend on the daily time frame on this this bearish trend that has been going on. So again, it's all dependent on how the price will behave when markets open. So you can't really make a constant decision right now. It's all subject to change. Next is AUDUSD. So on the Aussie dollar, you can see same thing. Price has been bearish for quite a long time. And then looking at the immediate price reaction, price has actually traded back to this zone, which is a key zone of supply. And then looking at the lower time frame, at a supply zone, you're expecting price to continue to be bearish, but keep in mind that price can always break these zones. These zones are never like bulletproof or anything, so you don't just trade blindly. So price can always break above the zone, especially after price has been moving for one direction for a very long time. Eventually the market always reverse, and you might never identify a reversal at the initial stage, because the moment price comes and breaks above this zone and then you have a break of structure, it's easy for you to identify the reversal. But at the moment, price can easily go up, break the structure, or it can continue trading downwards. So for me, I'll be watching out that supply zone. As long as price has not broken this supply zone, there is still possibility that AUDUSD could be bearish in the long run. And when I say in the long run, it doesn't mean that on market price will start dropping immediately. You could actually see a lot of games. It could even trade all the way to this zone, but the fact that it hasn't broken above, it could still come and drop. So it all depends with how price will behave. That's why you have to monitor. So there are two scenarios. It can go up or down depending with how price reacts at this zone. If it doesn't break above, my bias still remains bearish. If it breaks above, then you might see bulls coming into the market. Next is EURAUD monthly time frame. As you can see, the structure on the monthly time frame is quite complicated, but the immediate structure we can notice we have this sort of, you know, maybe trend formation, higher highs, higher lows. So is it possible that price will be unable to break here? Then we see it move further up. That's what I'm watching to look. So on the 1 week time frame, looking at how last week closed, this price tried to trade high. Then you see the candlestick coming, closing here below, a sign that bulls were sort of rejected. Looking at the daily time frame, there price has traded to a very key zone at this place here. If you mark, then we're seeing some sort of rejection. So it's possible that price could drop further. It's possible that price could still break higher. So what we'll be looking at on the lower time frame, on the 4 hour time frame on EURUSD, as you can see, you can see a very clear indication to determine whether price has reversed yet, because on the 4 hour time frame, this is also a very key, demand zone. So it's very possible that at this zone, price could just play around here, and then you see it continue going higher. Same way it did, some time back at this point. It comes back and trade to this zone, then you see it, let me just mark, comes back and trade to this zone, then you see it move even higher. So I'll be watching to see how EURUSD will behave first before I can make a decision. There's also a very good chance that we could see price trying to push lower based on the structure we are seeing on the 1 hour. It's very possible we could see price trading back to this supply zone here, then we see it trade even lower, which still looks like a pretty good pattern. So I'll be looking to see how price will react. Next we move to GBPAUD, starting with the monthly time frame. So you can see how the last month candlestick has closed quite bullish. at least here we have some sense of clear direction, quite bullish GBPAUD. Also, like last week's candlestick, same thing, looking quite bullish. So it's possible to see price trading higher unless we have a complete change in market structure. Same thing with the daily time frame. Significantly bullish candlestick. So on the 4-hour time frame on GBPAUD, I'll be looking for possibly, push of price even higher. So this is the zone that I'll mark here. So we might possibly see price retrace to this zone here. Let me mark. We might see price retracing all the way to this zone. Then we see it push even higher. That's the sort of analysis that I'm looking for on GBPAUD. But not to forget that price can easily trade below the way to this demand zone before it continues buying. So it's important for you to not have a very rigid mind. Don't have a rigid mindset. Be very open-minded to see how price will react. It's all speculation, but it all depends on how price will behave. And this is one of those weeks where you can't be very certain that price will go up or down. So you just look to see how price will behave, and then you act based on the reaction at the key zones. So the thing with trading with supply and demand zones is that most of the times you want to go wrong, even if you don't know where the price is going in the long run. If price trades back to the demand zone and you get a solid pattern, and it's also in synchrony with the higher time frame, higher chances are that the trade will go to your direction, at least even 50-70 pips, depending on how volatile the specific pair is. So that's what I'll be looking for GBP.